Hello, my friend. Maybe you have felt this before. You work hard. You try your best. You keep going every day. But deep inside, you are still waiting for something to change. Maybe you are waiting for an opportunity. Maybe you are waiting for support. Maybe you are waiting for someone to believe in you. And sometimes, that waiting feels endless. If this message speaks to you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue creating content that inspires and helps English learners around the world. Now let me share something that may be difficult to hear. The person you are waiting for may never come. The help you hope for may never arrive. And the opportunity you expect may never appear. At first, this sounds discouraging, but it is actually good news. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone else to change your life, you begin taking control of it yourself. This video is not about rejecting help. Good people can support us. Wise people can teach us. But there's a big difference between accepting help and depending on help. One makes you stronger, the other keeps you stuck. Today, we will explore why waiting can hold you back, why action matters more than perfect timing, and how to find strength even when nobody is standing beside you. So, stay with me. This message may be exactly what you need today. Part 1. What happens when you keep waiting for help? Many people do not realize they are waiting. They go to work. They take care of their families. They follow their daily routine. Everything looks normal from the outside. But inside, they are waiting for someone or something to change their life. They are waiting for a better opportunity, a better job, a better situation, a person who will finally help them move forward. The problem is not waiting for a few days or weeks. The problem is building a habit of waiting. When waiting becomes a habit, action becomes rare. You start believing that progress depends on other people. You tell yourself that things will improve when the right person arrives. But life does not always work that way. Most people are busy dealing with their own challenges. They have their own goals, worries, and responsibilities. They cannot spend their lives solving yours. That is why waiting can be dangerous. While you are waiting, time keeps moving. Days become months. Months become years. And little by little, opportunities pass by. One of the hardest truths in life is this: nobody cares about your future as much as you do. This is not a sad truth. It is an empowering one, because it reminds you where real responsibility belongs. With you. The moment you accept this, something changes. You stop asking, "Who will help me?" And you begin asking, "What can I do today?" That question creates movement. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is possible. Maybe you do not have everything you need right now. Maybe your situation is not perfect. But you still have choices. You can learn a new skill. You can improve one habit. You can take one small step forward. Small actions may seem unimportant in the beginning, but over time, they create momentum. And momentum creates change. The people who build successful lives are not always the people who receive the most help. Very often, they are the people who stop waiting and start moving. And once you understand that, an important question appears. If waiting is holding us back, why do so many of us keep doing it? Part 2. Why we wait. If waiting for help can hold us back, why do so many people do it? The answer is simple. Because waiting feels safe. When we wait, we do not have to face uncertainty. We do not have to risk failure. We do not have to take full responsibility for the result. Instead, we tell ourselves that we will start later. We will start when we feel ready. We will start when conditions are better. We will start when someone gives us support. These thoughts may sound reasonable, but they often become excuses that keep us stuck. Many people spend years preparing for a life they never begin. They keep collecting information. They keep making plans. They keep waiting for confidence. But confidence rarely comes before action. Most of the time, confidence comes after action. Think about any skill you have learned. At the beginning, you probably felt uncertain. You made mistakes. You felt uncomfortable. But you improved because you kept going. The same is true in life. Growth does not happen while you are waiting. Growth happens while you are doing. Another reason people wait is because they fear judgment. They worry about what others will think. They worry about failing in public. They worry about looking foolish. So they delay taking action. But the truth is that most people are too busy thinking about their own lives to focus on yours. The fear of judgment is often much bigger in our minds than in reality. Every day you wait, you give fear more control. Every day you act, you take some of that control back. That is why action is powerful. It breaks the habit of waiting. It reminds you that your future is not decided by your fears. It is decided by your choices. The people who move forward are not fearless. They simply refuse to let fear make their decisions. They understand that waiting feels comfortable today, but it often creates regret tomorrow. And that leads us to the next challenge. If waiting is often caused by fear, how can we move forward when fear is still there? Part 3. Moving forward with fear. Many people believe they must get rid of fear before they can move forward. But that is not how life works. Fear is a normal part of growth. Whenever you try something new, fear will appear. When you start a new job, fear is there. When you learn a new skill, fear is there. When you make an important decision, fear is there. Fear is not a sign that you should stop. Often, it is a sign that you are stepping into something important. The mistake many people make is waiting until they feel completely ready. They think confidence comes first, then action. In reality, it is usually the opposite. Action comes first. Confidence follows. Think about riding a bicycle for the first time. You were probably nervous. You may have fallen. You may have made mistakes. But you learned by doing. If you had waited until you felt completely confident, you might never have started. Life works the same way. The people who achieve their goals are not the people who never feel afraid. They are the people who keep moving even when fear is present. They take one step, then another, then another. Each step teaches them something. Each step makes them stronger. Over time, fear loses its power. Not because it disappears, but because they learn they can handle it. One small action can change everything. A phone call, an application, a conversation, a decision. These actions may seem small, but they create momentum. And momentum is often more important than motivation. When you start moving, you discover opportunities you could not see before. You learn lessons you could not learn by waiting. You become stronger than you were yesterday. Remember this: you do not need to be fearless. You do not need perfect confidence. You only need enough courage to take the next step. Because every meaningful change begins the same way, with one person deciding to move forward despite fear. And when you learn to do that, you begin to discover a new source of strength, one that does not depend on other people at all. Part 4. Finding strength in yourself. Many people look for strength in other people. They look for encouragement. They look for approval. They look for someone to tell them they are doing well. There is nothing wrong with support. Support can help us during difficult times. But there is a problem when our motivation depends on it. What happens when nobody encourages you? What happens when nobody notices your effort? What happens when nobody tells you to keep going? Many people stop. Not because they cannot continue, but because they have learned to depend on outside support. Real strength begins when you learn to keep going without it. This does not happen overnight. It is built through small daily actions. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become stronger. Every time you finish a task you wanted to avoid, you become stronger. Every time you continue despite discomfort, you become stronger. These moments may seem small, but they slowly build self-trust. And self-trust is one of the most valuable things you can have. When you trust yourself, you stop depending on constant encouragement. You know that even when things are difficult, you will keep moving forward. Think about a tree. Before it grows tall, it grows roots. Nobody sees the roots. Nobody praises them. Yet they are the reason the tree can survive strong winds. Your daily habits are like those roots. Reading for a few minutes. Learning a new skill. Exercising regularly. Improving little by little. These actions may not bring immediate results, but they build a strong foundation for the future. The strongest people are not always the most talented. Often, they are the people who continue working when nobody is watching. They understand that success is not built in one day. It is built through consistent effort over time. And once you learn to rely on yourself, you stop waiting for the perfect situation. You begin creating progress with what you already have. That brings us to another important lesson. If we want our lives to change, we must stop waiting for the perfect moment and start taking action now. Part 5. Start before you feel ready. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for the perfect moment. They believe they need more time, more knowledge, more confidence, more certainty. Then they will begin. But the perfect moment rarely comes. Life is never completely organized. There is always another challenge, another responsibility, another reason to wait. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, you may wait forever. The truth is simple. Most successful people did not start when they felt ready. They started when they felt uncertain. They started when they still had doubts. They started before they knew exactly how things would turn out. That is why they grew. Action teaches lessons that planning never can. You can spend months thinking about a goal, but you will learn more from 1 week of action than from months of waiting. Every step gives you new information. Every mistake teaches you something useful. Every challenge helps you improve. Imagine driving at night. You cannot see the entire road. You only see a short distance ahead. Yet you can still reach your destination. Why? Because the road becomes visible as you move forward. Life often works the same way. You do not need to know every step before you begin. You only need enough courage to take the next one. Small actions create momentum, and momentum creates confidence. The more you move, the more capable you feel. The more capable you feel, the easier it becomes to keep moving. That is why action is so powerful. It breaks the cycle of doubt. It turns ideas into progress. It turns hope into results. Remember, you do not need a perfect plan. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need everyone's approval. You only need to begin. A small step today is often more valuable than a perfect plan that never becomes reality. Because every meaningful achievement starts the same way. Someone decides to take action, and that decision changes everything. The next lesson may be the most important of all. It is about what happens when you finally stop waiting and take full responsibility for your life. Part 6. Take control of your life. There is a moment that changes many people's lives. It is not the day they become successful. It is not the day they receive recognition. It is not the day everything becomes easy. It is the day they stop waiting. The day they stop waiting for someone else to solve their problems. The day they stop waiting for perfect conditions. The day they decide to take responsibility for their future. At first, this decision can feel uncomfortable. Responsibility is not always easy. It means accepting that nobody can do the work for you. Nobody can build your habits for you. Nobody can make your choices for you. Nobody can create your future for you. But responsibility also brings something powerful. Freedom. When you take responsibility, you stop focusing on what you cannot control. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop blaming other people. Instead, you focus on your actions, your effort, your attitude, your decisions. And that is where real change begins. The truth is that you will not control everything that happens in life. There will be setbacks. There will be disappointments. There will be moments when things do not go as planned. That happens to everyone. But you can always control how you respond. You can choose to learn. You can choose to adapt. You can choose to keep moving forward. That choice is more powerful than many people realize. The people who build meaningful lives are not always the luckiest people. Often, they are simply the people who keep taking responsibility. They keep learning from mistakes. They keep improving. They keep moving, even when progress feels slow. Over time, those small choices create big results. One day, they look back and realize how far they have come. Not because someone rescued them, not because someone changed their life, but because they decided to change it themselves. So remember this: you may not control every situation, but you do control your next step. And sometimes, one step is all it takes to begin a completely different future. That is the power of taking control of your life. As we come to the end of this message, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your life does not change because someone saves you. It changes because you decide to move forward. One choice at a time. One action at a time. One day at a time. Many people spend years waiting for a better future. They wait for the right opportunity, the right person, the right moment. But the people who grow are the people who begin before everything is perfect. They start where they are. They use what they have. And they keep moving, even when the path is not clear. If there is one thing to remember from today's message, let it be this: do not wait for someone else to build the life you want. Take the first step yourself. It may be small, it may be imperfect, but it is still a step forward. And every step forward matters. When this video ends, take a moment to think about your own life. What is one thing you can do today instead of waiting for tomorrow? Start there, because small actions, repeated every day, can create extraordinary change over time. Thank you for spending these moments with me. I hope this message encouraged you, inspired you, and helped you practice your English at the same time. And if you enjoyed this topic, there are many more videos on this channel about personal growth, confidence, self-discipline, positive thinking, and building a better life. One step at a time. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep believing in your ability to move forward. And remember, the help you are waiting for may never come. But the strength you need to begin may already be inside you. Thank you for listening. And I hope to see you again in another video.